Welcome. Today, I'm bringing in somebody who's going to drop some knowledge on you. Now, you know that this is a cooking show. You know that we are military focused. We are people of color focused, and we are community building. Well, part of that community building is learning how to move forward in the business of cooking. That's why I'm bringing you somebody very, very special. Today we have Lenzy Ruffin. Sir, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Jerome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Sir, please drop some knowledge on what you do and why you are the one person that people need to know about cooking online.
Sure. I'm Lenzy Ruffin. I'm a cooking show advisor, and what I do is teach chefs and dietitians how to start a YouTube cooking channel and build it into a business. Because these are folks who have dedicated themselves to food, and these are two professions where they're dramatically overworked and underpaid, because in their culinary education, business education is not included. So these folks just go and work all these long hours and grind themselves in the dust in service of other people, and often they are making no money for it. They're just the amount of hours that they're trading for their time, the amount of hours that they're trading to earn their living is just not producing a great living for them. And it doesn't have to be that way. You can, if you have cooking skills, you have high revenue skills, and it's just a matter of learning some basic business skills to earn a great living. And that's what I teach folks how to do.
Yes, you do. Now, the real reason why I picked you up is because I must have got I don't know 80 emails. Your marketing is right on point. I'm like right there with you. And the last email that I got from you was about a gentleman who I had been following on YouTube. The what I call the land of promise. Plenty of promise anyway. Move right around the corner for me. Really? So yeah. So at least explanation of where Mike G said he moved out to Long Island. He said he first off he said he moved out to Long Island, which is really weird. He was actually on Brooklyn, which is on Long Island.
Okay.
I'm like, but he moved from Brooklyn out to Long Island. I don't know how people do that. It's really weird to me. They don't realize they live on the island that they said they move out to. But sure. So anyway, so Mike G was the gentleman who I had been following. And he had a show with his brother and much success. And I was like, if you can talk about him, then I can talk about you. And let's see if we can get some stuff flowing. Yeah. So give me a little bit about your background. I know you're military.
Yeah, that was a couple of lifetimes ago. I did ROTC all the way 4 years in high school, 4 years in college, and then served for 4 years on active duty as a commissioned officer. And I knew it wasn't, for me, the military was a means to an end. I knew I would not have a career in it, even though I have lots of family members who did. My dad retired as a master sergeant from the Army, and I got a cousin who retired as a master sergeant in the Marine Corps, which is hard to make E8 in the Marine Corps. But yeah, and I've got lots of other family members who served for different periods of time. But I knew it was, for me, a way to get, that was my way to pay for college, because I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing in high school, but was able to get into college with a ROTC scholarship. And that's when I started taking academics seriously, and everything was great after that. But I went to school for IT. I got a degree in information systems. My bachelor's degree that the Army paid for, and then while I was I paid for a master's degree myself because I didn't want to owe the Army any more time So I paid for that out of pocket because I knew that was where I wanted to be. This was this was I got out of the army in 2000, in January of 2000. So we're talking about the very beginning of the internet revolution. And that was perfect for me coming out of school at that time with that degree. And there was just all this opportunity to do the kind of work that I love doing. And that's what I chose to do. So went and did that for about 15 years. And then I just burned out, man. I hit the wall. I had gotten to the mountaintop, as they say, and didn't like the view. I now had the kind of jobs that I always dreamed of having, and I wasn't enjoying the work. What I found is that the higher I went in my career, the less qualified my managers were to manage me. And it was just a constant frustration where I could do something, complete a task in 3 weeks if I did it the way I wanted to do it, but they wanted me to do it their way, and it would take 3 or 4 months, if ever. And then they want to hold me accountable for why it's taking so long. So ju- just having that frustration over and over again and just changing jobs so much, I realized that it was like a Friday the 13th movie, and Jason kept showing up. Jason being the manager that I didn't like working for. And no matter where I went, there he was again. And then I realized at some point, you know what? It's you, man. You're just not cut out for this. You got to do something else.
Drop
And
your future.
entrepreneurship, yeah, had never really been, not like we talk about it now. Then it wasn't really that. It was, you go to school, get a degree, you get a career, and and so I had never really thought about working for myself. And my other hobby, my only hobby was photography. That was the only other thing I cared about. And so I left IT and started a photography business with no business skills whatsoever. I just thought if I'm good at taking pictures, I can get paid to do this, and found out the hard way that that's really not how it works. Marketing and sales are how you make money. Your product or service is kind of secondary if you don't know how to sell it. And so I went through this long journey of learning how to run a business, how to develop a product, how to communicate about it effectively, marketing and sales, all of those things that you actually need in order to be successful. And what happened is I got into video to market my photography business. So learning how to make videos to promote my photography business. And then other business owners saw what I was doing and started asking me, could I help them make videos to promote their businesses? So I ended up with this video production side hustle inside my photography business that eventually I enjoyed doing that work more than I was enjoying the photography work, because at the time I was running a family photography business. And here's another marketing lesson that I learned the hard way. For family photography, the person that you're going through to get those jobs is a mother of young children who also happens to be the busiest person on the planet. And so it's really hard to get their attention and market to them effectively. And you got to kind of play on the, hey, they're only going to be little for so long kind of thing. And then, you're triggering mom guilt, but you don't really want to do that because they're already feeling guilty enough about so many things. And so the balance of juggling that, massaging that marketing versus talking to a business owner saying, hey, you want to make more money? This is how you do it. Learn how to make these videos. That was a conversation that was much more comfortable and easy for me to have. So I transitioned out of photography and into just the video production, working with small business owners. And then that eventually, was sitting at home one day watching a cooking show on PBS. And I'm looking at it going, man, I bet I can do a cooking show as good or better than what I'm looking at. And so I reached out to try to find a local chef, because at the time I didn't know any chefs, and seeing if somebody was willing to be my model, be the person that I do this cooking show with. And I found a local chef, and we started doing a cooking show out of her apartment. And it came out just like I had intended. It was one of those deals where I saw what in my mind what I wanted to create, and I actually created it, which is that's like the holy grail in photography or video, when you can actually see something in your mind and then create it.
Yes.
And so we did that, and it was just a personal project. I wasn't thinking about it as a business thing at that time. It was just something that I wanted to do for myself to prove that I could do it. And then the pandemic happened and shut down everything. So at that time, my business was working with coaches, chefs, coaches, trainers, and public speakers, people who earn their living by standing in front of a room full of people and talking and delivering some sort of presentation. And I was helping them make videos that would help them get more of those jobs. And so when the pandemic happened, that shut down events. You know, everybody knows it shut down everything. So all my customers' business went away. So all my business went away. And I'm sitting at home just like everybody else trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Yeah, what's next? How am I going? And something that kept coming up on the news every day was all these restaurants that were closing permanently. They said these restaurants are closing and they're not coming back.
Of course,
and they're never coming back. And that really bothered me because I had an understanding of how much these people invest financially, personally, into the opening a restaurant, and then to just have it all taken away through no fault of your own, and then this is just gone. All of that money, all of those years you put in, it's just gone. And so I'm thinking, what can I do? How can I be a part of solving this problem? And then I remember, oh yeah, you do have this oddly specific skill. You know how to make cooking shows. How can we take this and help these people make money a different way? And so I saw a local caterer on social media. I didn't know her at the time, but she was scrambling, fighting to save her business. I could see from her post what she was doing. She had decided to take donations. Nah, what she was doing was taking donations from the public to pay for the food and pay for the salaries of her staff, and then she would create meals for first responders. So she's taking food to the hospitals, to the police stations, and this is back when these folks' faces are all scarred up from wearing masks for 3-4 days straight, not going home. Firehouses. So that's what she was doing, giving the public a way to be a part of the solution, because all these people at home, they're not going to work, they're not spending money on food like they were. So folks had the money to donate, and she took those donations and turned it into meals, hot meals that she's delivering to these first responders. And so I saw what she was doing, and I said, I can help this lady. And so I reached out through my network, got in touch with her, and I said, hey, you wanna do a cooking show? This is a way that we can increase revenue for your business. It's a marketing effort to get more people, like all of the benefits. And she was like, sure. So we started her show, because in my mind, I couldn't save everybody, but I was like, I could save one business, and I know I can save this one. And that's what I focused on. And I'm very happy to say I was a part of her success at that time. I think this year's now, she's in business 20 years.
Wow.
At that time, it had been 14 years of that, that could have gone away. And business is better now than it was before. Through her cooking show, we're now getting her, or have been over this time, getting her corporate opportunities. So these are clients that pay her every month. Like she got an ID badge, and every month she's going in there and doing their luncheons and all their special events and all of the cascading work that comes from that. So it's worked out really great, and I'm really proud of that. And so that's the long story of how I got to here, because you look at where I started. I have no background in food whatsoever. It's just, how in the world did I end up here? Well, that's how I got here.
So I see so many different connection points as to myself and you. I'm ex-Air Force. Right? I went in as early as I possibly could, because I left home at 14. I got into photography back when I was just getting started. Early hobby in the military. Working on bombers, and I was doing family photography business. I call it more of a GP. General photographer. So I did small products. I did portraits. I did weddings and events. Everything from any person that's involved, from products all the way down to the smallest item. And My side hustle was working with businesses across the street from my office. So when I got out of the Air Force, I said, I want to be a photographer, and I said, first place I'm going to is the school photographer that took my picture. I think I'm at least a generation in front of you because I was in the late 80s, right? So go for part one during that time frame, right? So when I got out, no digital photography. When I got out, VHS was a thing.
Yeah, you might be half a generation or a third, but not a full one. Because
I'm talking about the early 90s, right? Yeah. So you said 2000.
So when I went to Korea, that's when I got out. When I went to Korea as a lieutenant with all this money and nothing to do with it, I ordered from B&H, ordered the whole catalog. I ordered a film camera. So it was a Canon AE1, I think. I can't remember which model it was, but I started out with film.
Yeah. So did I. When I was in Go Part 1, I was stationed in Dallas. Right. I ordered my ordered. I picked it up from the local store. 6.7. So shooting medium format. And I did everything from go to a presidential inaugural bar and being a photographer there to school photography, right. And my first thing was thinking marketing was the way to success. So I was like, I can use my technology background and build something. So I made a 15-minute videotape reel similar to what you just saw, but for all of my photography thing. And I used to send it to people, and then I was like, I got this great idea. I was working with the software called Flash, making a slide presentation on a CD-ROM business card that I would send people. That little spinning. Yeah. So. By time COVID was kicking off, that was the end of my time at MEC. So I was working as a developer, doing software development for MEC. Right. So I guess I went 20 years as photographer, which overlapped with software development, which brings me to cooking. Right. So cooking. My cooking story was my wife and I were watching. Food Network on the regular, and we were like, we got to get up this guy and do something. So we started taking classes. 14 years later, we're in the thick of things, starting corporate stuff, and I'm like, I can. I had spun on some videos for work. We did the Hall of Shake. I edited it. We did all of the different trendy thing. And I was like, why don't we do a cooking show? So I had ran somebody at Costco, and I had invited him over for special dinner, and I think it was his girlfriend who said, "You guys are like brothers from another be fam cooking." So long story short, they moved into my complex. Bought a house while we were on vacation cooking in Europe, and came back and they moved in, and the rest is history. So that's the short of our little similarity. What I want to get into the tools that you got in the Army. How did that help you to move forward in the rest of your life for this direction? I noticed this little stepping stone. Can you give me a little insight as to little stepping stones from the Army that said this is where you could be a great landing spot?
What I got from the Army was invaluable. It's the foundation for everything that I'm able to do now. I didn't want to be in the Army, but I needed it. The discipline and specifically the environment of no excuses. In the military, for folks who have never served, excuses are not tolerated. It's just not. If you have a task and you better do it. Period. I don't care what you got to do to get it done. You better do it because there is no excuse that's going to be accepted for you not doing what you're supposed to do. So when you're in that type of environment and everybody is a part of that culture, stuff just gets done because it has to, because everybody knows there's no excuse that's going to save you. And I was telling this to somebody the other day. It's like you come out of the military, you if you really embrace that, you have a superpower. It's like you're Superman on planet Earth, where everybody else is regular, but you can fly. Because when you have a no excuse mindset, you're able to do so much more than the other people who just grab for the first excuse, and everybody thinks they have the greatest excuse in the world for whatever excuse they have. It's the greatest excuse in the world, and it should be accepted. And when you have a no excuses mindset, you're gonna outperform those folks all day, every day. You're gonna beat them in everything. You're gonna be more attractive for this is why people like hiring veterans.
Right.
It's
right.
it really is a superpower just having a no excuses mindset. And getting that from the military was the greatest gift, the greatest thing that I could have gotten, and that's the foundation of everything that I'm able to do now. And it makes it easy for me to find the right people because it turns off a lot of folks. Like a lot of people who they're just excuse factories, and I don't do well with those people. They come to me with excuse. I'm like, yeah, well, okay, whatever.
So,
This,
so
yeah. So it screens people out, and folks who want to get stuff done and don't want to make excuses, we're able to work well together, and I'm able to help them get results.
yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
it was something you said when you first came on today. That is such a military ethos about being late because you were right on time. You were right on time. Hit me with that gem again.
Yeah, if you're on time, you're late. You know, I signed
Exactly.
to our live stream a little early because
No,
sometimes
on
there are
time.
technical issues to work through or whatever, and so you be there in time for things to for you to be able to resolve any issues or whatever. And so if you're on time, you're late. So you got to be there early.
Right, and that is one of the major, I guess, milestones that we all live by ex-military, and I find I haven't found anyone who is ex-military who doesn't understand this. If they've been there, then they know what that is. At least.
Yeah.
So besides that stepping, so now you've created a photography studio, and you've done what I like to call, sorry, don't want to embarrass you, the prostitution method. First you do it with friends, then you do it for money. So it took a hobby and moved it into a business. And so that's basically the path that I had personally done. I'm working on growing my shop. If there was one key thing that I should be doing that makes YouTube more important, what is it?
YouTube is the number one TV streaming platform in U.S. households, and it has been for 3 years now. So if we're talking about a restaurant or any business, but we're food focused here, for the restaurant owners, that's the biggest marketing opportunity you ever have. Having your own cooking channel on TV. There is no bigger stage than that. This is bigger than being on Top Chef or whatever program on the Food Network, whatever cooking competition where you're fighting for your life, throwing food on the plate and hoping you can advance to the next round. When you're hosting your own cooking channel on TV, you get to take your time and be deliberate about what you're doing. You're inviting people into your kitchen and having that conversation that you want to have with them, as opposed to the reality TV drama, manufactured drama. It's an entirely different ball game. And so if you're not leveraging YouTube, if your business is not where you want it to be and you're not leveraging YouTube, that's an easy opportunity. You are able to invite the world into your kitchen, let people see what it is you have to offer. And if you're good at what you do, your people are going to see you and see you on YouTube and then come see you in person.
Yes. So that was one of the key factors that I thought about YouTube. I looked at other streaming areas. What's the name of that other? So that it was really private. You can own your own space.
You talking about Vimeo?
Vimeo. That's it.
Yeah. I use that too.
Yeah, I know. I did my research. I got a couple of pages on you here. Don't think I don't know. So why YouTube over Vimeo? Your perspective.
YouTube is for mass marketing. Vimeo is for special purpose videos that you want to. You're creating the way I use it. I'm creating those videos on Vimeo, like I'm sending a video specifically to a person or to an organization. Special purpose. There are different tools that you can put in Vimeo. Like you can, at the end of the video, you can have a little button pop up where they click the link and then it takes them to. So there are all these different business tools that are a part of Vimeo that are not a part of YouTube. So there are different tools for different jobs. But for mass marketing, for most people, they will never need to use Vimeo. YouTube is where most business owners need to be.
So the name of your studio currently, I believe, is Park Road.
Park Road Studios.
Right. Why Park Road?
So if you remember when I said this was the video production stuff just started as a side hustle out of my photography business. So I was doing photography and then I was doing all this other stuff that didn't belong on my photography website from a marketing standpoint because you're confusing people. And so I had to create another website. I had to create another space to have for all this other stuff that I was doing. And so with it not being deliberate, wasn't thinking about like this. I didn't plan it. I just needed a name. And so I live on Park Road. That was so it was Park Road Studios. I just needed a name because I had all this stuff that I had to put somewhere. And that's where that came from.
Okay. What's kind of funny is I live in Park Road. Very weird that this is like that. So let me go. Washington D.C. area. You're doing a lot of things. All these that's your hub. Do you feel like you're branching out enough, or are you just an East Coast person?
No, I work. So starting from in the pandemic, I work with chefs around the country. I actually had one chef I was working with in what country was that? It wasn't Poland. It was somewhere in Europe. I can't think of the name of the country right now. But yeah, I train people around the country. My coaching program, I'm teaching. So before I used to earn my living standing in front of people with a camera. Now I earn my living teaching people how to put a camera in front of themselves and do that, because the technology has advanced to the point where you used to need a videographer to operate the camera for you, but camera technology has advanced to the point, and particularly smartphones, you can get started without even having a camera operator. So videographer, meaning video production professional, camera operator, somebody with no real video production skills, but they just hit and record for you. These days you can get started doing that yourself. And so, and that's how most people are going to get started. So yeah, I train folks all around the country. Not I don't run a local business anymore. It's
international,
an online education platform.
So would you say there are any connections from having a photography studio to moving from IT to what you're doing today?
Well, yeah, everything builds on top of each other. It's called skill stacking, and this is important for folks in our generation and above to understand. I'm Generation X. Let's be clear on that. Uh, you was like explaining what a CD is. And I'm like, dude, what you talking about? My first computer was floppy disks. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. My first computer was a tape recorder.
yeah. So and I've seen those. I know what you're talking about. But so all of these things that we do as we go on this journey through life, all of those skills you carry forward, and they become a part of what you're able to offer to the world. So my IT background, I'm so thankful that I fell in love with computers early on, because who knew at that time we didn't know the direction that the world was going. Like I went to a high school where I was in a pre-engineering program, and their focus was to get everybody to go to college and get an engineering degree. And when I said I want to get a computer degree, at that time, they thought I was throwing away my life. Because that's just, computers weren't a thing then. Nobody had computer. When I graduated college with an information systems degree, I was the only person in my class of other people getting the information. I was the only one who actually owned a computer. So this was early, before everything turned. And so I was fortunate to get in very early and develop these skills. And now it just has become what, if you're not computer savvy, you're really struggling these days. There's so much that you need to be able to know how to do, basic competence that I had a long time ago, man. And so those skills, the photography skills, learning how to work with people, because I started out with a headshot photography business, and that's a lot of psychology. You got to learn how to work with people and how to get them comfortable, because with a headshot, this is it's this right here, and so basically the bottom of the collar to the and so there's nowhere for somebody to hide when you're this close on them. So if they're not comfortable, it's going to show. Whatever's going on in here is going to be front and center, because there's nowhere for it. Their whole face is taking up the picture. And so developing those skills of how to build rapport quickly with strangers, somebody I don't know, I got to figure out, because it's basically you like almost like a stand-up comedian or on-stage performer. You got this person in front of you. You got to figure them out. Who are they? Right. What is there in their background that you can pull out and use to pull out the expression that you need? Do you have kids? How many kids you got? Which one of them is your problem child? Blah, blah. Figuring out, all right, what buttons can I push to get the expression that I need out of them to capture that photo, that when people who know them and love them see it, they go, he got you, because that's you. And so developing those skills,
read the room skills.
Yeah. Event photography, family lifestyle photography, all of those things, then working with the business owners, all of these things compound. And this is what you have to offer to the world. And I just wanted to make that point for people 50 and up, 60 and up. You got a lot to offer that you've gained just through the various journeys that you've been on through life. So you got a lot to offer. And YouTube is a place where you can share that and be rewarded for it. You can get paid for all of this life experience that you have just by sharing your knowledge. It's a long form platform, meaning you get to just talk and be yourself on YouTube. You don't have to be animated and dancing and pointing and engaging in foolishness. All you got to do is be yourself and share what it is you have to offer. And your journey is going to help somebody else. And there's a whole lot of those somebody else's. And with that, you can build a business.
So with our generation, you've been very specific about and based on my research. So I did the deep dive using technology. I threw AI at you, right? And made it do a full background research and write up my show plan for you. It really focused on you and grabbing people in the 50-ish year age. And why do you feel that YouTube, is the perfect landing ground for that age group?
Yeah.
For that age group.
Yeah.
For that age group.
because you can just be yourself. YouTube is a platform where people go to learn. So if you got something you want to teach, and as we get older, we all transition into wanting to teach in some way, wanting to just share this hard-earned experience that we've had and acquired. And YouTube is a platform that is friendly for that. It's a receptive platform for that. You can't really do this on TikTok and Instagram, and these other platforms are not places where people go to learn. They're places where people go for quick hit entertainment. But if you want to sit down and have a conversation about XYZ and it's a 20-minute conversation, YouTube is the place where you go for that. And then there's people who want to hear that 20-minute conversation, and they will watch the whole thing and come back next week to hear what you got to say, and then come back next week and hear what you got to say. So it's kind of a paradox. It's like the hardest platform and the easiest platform at the same time. It's the hardest platform to the highest barrier to entry for people, but in terms of actually the content creation process, it can be as simple as turning on your camera, saying what you have to say, turning the camera off. And that's way easier than the other platforms where you got to figure out how to hold everybody's attention every 2 seconds. Whereas on YouTube, folks give you some space. They're going to, like I said, it's the #1 TV streaming platform in US. So folks, YouTube is TV watching. They find something. They're not looking for a 1-minute video sitting on the couch. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever. If you're speaking about something that is of interest to them and of benefit to them, they're going to tune in. And that's why YouTube is, I feel like it's the best platform for people above a certain age who have some knowledge, a lot of knowledge that they want to share. It's the easiest platform to get that out of your head and into in front of people who can benefit from it.
So walk me through your advisor, cooking show advisor program. I really want to make sure that everyone knows who you are and how and why they should be coming to you to make this thing actionable for themselves. Tell me about
first thing is first thing we do is get your kitchen situation set up. We want to turn whatever kitchen you have into a TV kitchen. And a lot of that is mindset stuff, because many people come to me thinking that their kitchen's not good enough. And I'm going, why is it not good? Is it good enough to feed you and your family? Then why is it not good enough? You know, folks have this, this warped idea that they got to have this kitchen that's way better than everybody else's. And I'm like, why? That's why you feel like you got to be up here and the people that you're talking to got to be down here. They're cooking in a regular kitchen. They need to see you cooking in a regular kitchen. Otherwise, you're not relatable. So your kitchen is good enough. Folks think they need specialized camera equipment, and that's just wrong. Like, so many people come to me with this grand vision. They want $1 million cooking show and they don't have $1 million. Like, okay. So you can hang on to that vision, or you can start with the kitchen that you have and your phone, and you can start making videos today or this weekend, and people will watch them. And you can use that to build yourself up and eventually get that $1 million kitchen if that's what you want. But you can and should absolutely start with what you have. And so that's the first thing, is getting people calibrated correctly about what it takes to be successful with the cooking show and what it takes to actually get started. And so just getting them started, and then helping them embrace the mindset, because what I have folks do is, the first thing I always ask them is, what is your big why? Why do you want to have a cooking channel? What is it that you're trying to accomplish here? Because for me, a cooking channel is a vehicle. It's not the goal, it's a vehicle. This is the vehicle that's going to take you to whatever destination you want to be at. What is that destination? We got to start with that. And once we've started with the destination, what is that big goal? Why are you doing this? That's going to be your motivation for doing the work that's required to make that happen. Because hosting a cooking channel, if your goal is for this to be a business pursuit, then what we're talking about is publishing 50 episodes a year, one video per week. You're not going to be able to do that if you don't have a good reason for doing that.
Yeah,
That's why
it's difficult.
That big why is important, because that's the reason why I'm doing this. So you got to start with that big why, and then you have to. That's your motivation. Now you got to figure out, okay, who is this cooking channel going to help? Because nobody's going to watch it if it's not benefiting them. So who are you going to help? We're not just going to be posting random recipes, whatever you felt like making that day. Who are these recipes going to help? There are so many problems that can be solved and can only be solved with food. We're in a public health crisis in the United States. 38 million type 2 diabetics, 97 million pre-diabetics. That's 135 million people with a sugar intake problem. That's 40% of the country. People think diabetes and high blood pressure run in their family, and that's just not true. Type 2 diabetes comes from consuming too much sugar, period. That's not a genetic condition. What's passed down in your family is bad eating habits. A lot of families are passing down cookbooks full of recipes for cardiovascular disease. That's what's running in your family, not diabetes inherently. So if we change these eating habits, we're going to change the health outcomes for that family. Same with stroke is the fourth leading cause of death in the U.S. and 80% of strokes are preventable through dietary change. We all know somebody who's suffering from diabetes or stroke. It's just so, these are such widespread problems. We all know somebody that's either had diabetes, we know diabetics, and we know people who've had strokes, or, or are taking care of somebody who's had a stroke or whatever. So those are just two examples of problems that you can tackle. So we can not gonna make your show, everything is all about diabetes, but we can just teach people how we can update the family cookbook, how we can make some modifications to these traditional recipes to make them more healthy, so that we're not passing down traditions of illness. That's an example of having a bigger picture in mind of who you're going to help with your cooking show, and how you can craft recipes that are going to help people. And that's one strategy for getting people to tune in.
Yes, sir. So in my particular case, I look at it like I'm putting down recipes as a way to share recipes that I had when I was a kid, or something I'm really interested in now. Right. The biggest thing to me is that new American cuisine, which is what I really focus on, is how we can take these flavors from other places and make it our own. So I'm not really focused on definitely on diabetes or any of those things, because we're only here as long as we are. So I'm not trying to solve that problem. What I'm trying to solve is you can do restaurant quality food in your home kitchen. I look back at the example that you had sent us, Mike G's path. Right. He started in a small kitchen, turned sideways, looked like a I guess Brooklyn now, and he's working off that little $27 roll around table with a hot plate on it. Right. So I'm a little bit upgraded over that. I don't have as much backup space, but I definitely have we did sink some money into our kitchen. And recently into our stove and appliances and a few other things. So let me ask you about your 100 videos that got you started on this journey. Tell me a little bit about what you did to move forward.
Oh man. Well, first, real quick, you are solving a problem. Teaching people how to make restaurant quality meals at home, and that's solving a problem. And particularly if you are incorporating, you're making these meals cost effective, because food, the cost of food is skyrocketing. So, and eating out is just insane. So if you're able to teach people, if you focused on teaching people how to bring those restaurant quality meals at home, that's solving a problem for people. a social problem. Well, in the family, that's a problem. What are we going to eat? And also now, instead of us, going out on Friday with the friends, let's cook at home and let's bring the party home. So that's solving a problem for people. Far as the 100 videos, I've been on this really circuitous journey on YouTube, which is how most people go. I've had various iterations of my business and various focuses. And so my channel has evolved. Like at this point, it's probably more videos on my channel that you cannot see than you can, because when you want to be successful on YouTube, you want to focus. So the algorithm has to understand what this channel is about. You can't have all of these different topics and expect your channel to be successful, because the algorithm doesn't know who to put your videos in front of, because people tune into a channel to see what's on that channel. You don't watch ESPN to see CNN content and vice versa. You don't turn on CNN because you want to see a football game. So you got to define what your channel is going to be in order for it to be successful. And so I've been publishing content based on what I was focusing on at that time. And you just kind of, it's kind of like an allegory for life. You're figuring things out. What you're doing today and what you're doing 5 years from now, for a lot of people, is not going to be the same thing. And so your channel, your YouTube channel, you're posting where you are in your journey. That's going to change. And so for that was the case for me. For people who have the benefit of knowing what they want to do and are smart enough to work with somebody that can guide them, who's been on that circuitous journey and can just tell you the straight line. Folks like that can start a cooking channel, and immediately everything is focused in the direction that it needs to be going, rather than taking all these turns. But yeah, there's probably more videos on my channel that you cannot see. They're unlisted because they don't speak to the audience who I'm speaking to now. And it's just going to confuse them, or they don't even want to see it because it's not related to what they're interested in. So those, and you'll see that on a lot of YouTube channels. If you look at the number of videos, you can see the total count of videos, and then you can look at how many videos you can actually see, and it's not the same. They might have 20 videos that you can see, and they got a total of 100 videos because they got a bunch of videos unlisted because that's not what they're focusing on anymore.
So for me, I broke it into basically, I think it's three different directions, and that was part of the plan. Like right now, I'm currently updating Fam Cooking, and I'm trying to build a community. I know that you've mentioned that. So I'm running a promotion, a giveaway to give away a book. Right, I have this conversation called Beyond the Restaurant, which is basically pulling in other speakers from other places to spotlight them. And then, of course, I have my own recipes, right? Trying to build up that infrastructure, talk about where I'm coming from. And then on my website, I'm working on there's a small underlying story talking about the history of my favorite foods. Right. So that was a suggestion from a friend, and I'm again attacking the geek way. Have AI do all the research on the history, right? Confirm that history with verifiable sources, and sprinkle it with my stories about why that particular recipe or food, is important to me, like macaroni and cheese, or hamburger. Right. So I consider it doors, which is ways that people can get to my content. Maybe they'll like me from this direction, or maybe they'll like me from this one, or maybe they'll like me from this one. Whatever works. Yeah. So seeing it's like the I think it's the fourth iteration of my website. So I started with a WordPress setup, and I now it's a full React thing. That's totally
that's how it works. Everything it's going to evolve. That's how it works.
Right. Yeah. So you had a bunch of plans to work with that particular caterer. You did 100 videos. You move forward in your journey. Now, do you have programs that allow people to come and work with you?
Yeah. I run my cooking show accelerator. It's an online coaching program. I designed it for busy adult professionals, folks like us, because this is one of the challenges that I hear from people. I designed my program based on, developed it based on working with different people and understanding their challenges. And it's a way for you to always be able to make progress. So you every week you can't do the most, but every week you can do something. We are at a stage of life where we have children to take care of. Some people have children and parents, plus your job or your business, whatever it is you're running. And so you have all these responsibilities to other people, but you also got to enjoy this time on earth for yourself. You got to get something out of this yourself. You can't just be in service to other people. And so that's why I developed my program in the way that I have developed it. And yeah, you can you join and we get your kitchen situation squared away. And as far as developing your TV kitchen, turning whatever kitchen you have into a TV kitchen. And then we develop your system for how you're going to publish an episode every week. That's going to look different for everybody. What I generally recommend to people is pick one day a month where you're going to, we call that an 8-hour day, where you're going to record 4 episodes. And if you can do that, that one day a month will produce your 50 episodes a year. And so this is how you can fit it into your schedule, no matter what your schedule is, if you have a big enough reason to do this. Going back to that big why, whatever that is, are you willing to dedicate one day a month to making that happen? Because that's what a cooking show is going to require in order to help you do that. And so just figuring out, because for some people that's not going to work. Some people want to do it every week, whatever. But we got to figure out what your system is going to be, because the only way you're going to get to 50 episodes a year is with a system. You're not going to just haphazard your way to 50 episodes a year. And then once we've gotten that in place, your system for how you're going to publish 50 episodes of video every single week, now we can start figuring out how you're going to monetize this, how you're going to build a business on top of this. There's so many different ways you can do that, depending on who the person is and what they want to offer. Some people can sell meal planning consultations. Some people, if you're a restaurant owner or a caterer, you're going to use your channel to sell meal prep services or catering services. You can sell a private membership community where people pay you $50 a month, $20 a month. I like 50 or more. And they're paying you for additional access to where basically whatever your vision of the Food Network is, whatever you would do if they put you in charge, you can do that inside a private community and people will pay you for it. If you're delivering a solution to a problem or something that they want, they're willing to pay you for it. And $50, that's really not a lot of money. You take 2 people to a fast food place, you can spend $50. So if you're teaching people how to make restaurant quality meals at home, introduce some new flavors into, $50 is a no-brainer for that.
Yeah, that's pizza money.
Yes.
That's pizza money.
And it adds up though. So $50 a month, you get 200 people who want to learn what you're teaching. That's 10 grand a month. That's 120K a year. That's a 6-figure business from you doing what you love out of your home kitchen. That's how simple it can be to use a YouTube cooking channel to build a real business that pays your bills and delivers the life that you want. And so helping people figure out what that looks like for them, because the membership community isn't for everybody. There's all these different ways that you can, once you have an audience, that you can offer them something, create a product or a service that solves a problem for them. And you don't even have to be selling people, because that's another problem that people have, is marketing and sales and pricing. And I help them with all of that stuff too, because it's a challenge for a lot of people, particularly women, when it comes to charging what they're worth, helping people with something and charging them for it, I find that's something that a lot of women business owners struggle with, or aspiring business owners, because they just want to help people.
Right.
And the money collection aspect is something that they're uncomfortable with. Yeah, and I got to help them. It can't be secondary, because if you put it secondary, then you're putting yourself last. And now you're in a situation where eventually you're going to run out of gas and you're not going to be able to take care of yourself or anybody else. So you got to be able to understand and be comfortable with making a profit first. And then that provides you with the resources that you need to take care of people. So helping folks work through all this kind of stuff that's required to build a business that actually makes you money. And this is what I help folks with.
And you've helped me just with your marketing, just saying the same thing over and over again. You don't need to get this other thing. Being a photographer, and seeing the shows, I know exactly what it takes to produce an excellent food video. I can easily say 5 cameras, 4 lights, this here, that here. I just need a mixer and a couple of things, and it becomes a big thing. I literally have most of those things, but I'm like, it's so much setup. It's so much extra work. Why not just? Yep. I love my all my alarms. So it's so much extra setup that it prevents me from even doing one video, not 5.
Yep.
Right. So I wanted to dumb it down. I'm back down to just my phone too. So
excellent.
Yeah. Well, it just makes it easier. Just makes it easier. Right.
This has got to be fun. That's something I forgot to mention. This whole process, we have to figure out a way to make this fun for you, something that you look forward to doing, because again, 50 episodes a year, this can't be a grind. This got to be something that you actually enjoy doing. And we have to figure out how to develop a system where this is something that you actually enjoy doing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely not photography studio where you can just walk back in, your camera's already set up, your lights already set up, your background's already set up, you can just go. Right. That would require that same what was it, $5,500 a month? That's really scary. So sir, just to wrap this up, we've been talking for a long time. I want to make sure that we've gotten your message out there. What is the one thing that we can pass off to the people who have tolerated this long, that they should know about you and how we can engage with you?
I'm here to help you, not try to sell you anything. So I am not the guy that's going to try to sell you or convince you of anything. So feel free to reach out. What I want you to understand is that life is short. And if you want to live the life that you want, you're in charge of that. You have to make that happen. And tomorrow can't be your favorite day. It's got to be today. Because if tomorrow's your favorite day for everything, then you're never going to get anywhere. And I guess the last thing I would say is you can make progress or you can make excuses, but you cannot do both. So you got to figure out which one you're going to do. Progress or excuses. And, you got one life. It's up to you to create it. So you're going to do that today, or is your favorite day tomorrow?
Oh, Lenzy. Dropping those nuggets. Dropping the nuggets. Dropping the nuggets. Sorry, it's been a real pleasure. Hanging out here, talking with you about all this fun stuff. I'm glad that we took the time, and I really appreciate and thank you very much for taking the time for coming on. And I hope that some people are hearing the words that you're dropping down, and they engage you. It's really important that people find a pathway to success, or better yet, happiness. So thank you again, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. And we're out of here. Lenzy.
Cool.